Hello, this is Brennan Wilmington from the Left Turn Network, and welcome back to another LSCI Amateur Series race, season number 4, race number 7, and we are here at the world's center of racing, Daytona International Speedway, for our biggest amateur series race of the year to accompany the Lumen 500 tomorrow. And we've got 30 drivers that all want to etch their name into the history books as winners here at Daytona. In fact, two of the previous three winners of this race have gone on to win the championship, those being Corbin Taps and Nathan Buchanan. So winning this race comes with a lot of prestige, and again, Amateur Series champions win this race, and Amateur Series champions go on to Cup and make their legacy there. So it's going to be an exciting one for sure. Again, we got 30 drivers all looking to win this 35-lap race. Let's go over your starting lineup real quick. On the pole is the number 17 of Gianni McJasmina for Riverbend Racing. That team has won this race before. They did it with Rhea Whitcomb 2 years ago. And alongside McJasmina is the number 6 car of Ben Tachenko, the winner at Atlanta earlier this year. Row number 2 is the 96 of Dawson Lynn and the 4 car of Annie Baker. Row number 3, Maria Gonzalez and the number 00 and the 72 of Bridget Brousseau, who is one of a few drivers who's also running the Lumen 500 as well tomorrow. Row number 4, Rhea Wickham in the 71 and the number 20 car of Kasumi Takashi. Then it's Marisha Vebelst in the 21 and the 26 of Duncan Ward, who tried and failed to make the Lumen 500. Kaylee Maxwell in the number 66, your current points leader, alongside the 95 car of Bart Seiler. Then it's the 77 of Lance Holman and the 67 of Stephen Jones. Oscar Duvall in the 50 alongside the 10 of Amani Huandayo. Got Cassidy Jones in the 97, another driver who tried and failed to make the Lumen 500. Alongside Cassidy Jones is the 59 of Richard Mackley. Latanya Gray, who will be racing in the Lumen 500, alongside the 43 car of Walter Bowser. Then you got the 15 of Lucas Forrester, another D&Q from the Lumen 500, and the 19 car of Henry Wall. Then it's the 80 of Jean-Martin Boucher, alongside the 16 car of Steve Brack. It's the 2 car of Sky and Jetta, and the number 40 of Takamoto Aya. Number 41 car Spencer Rallison, and the 75 of Isabella Fitzmaurice, who is also running the Lumen 500. So we've got 3 drivers that are running both races this weekend, that being Gray, Brousseau, and Fitzmaurice. And Fitzmaurice, in particular, has been very good in the Cup level with a top 5 in the duel, finished second in the duel with a top 5 start in the Lumen 500. So she's going to have to work her way from the back in this race, though, so we'll see how it goes for her. Mercedes Washington and Alan Marshall are on the last row in the 44 and the 99. Like I mentioned before, it will be a 35-lap race, and it's going to be pack racing through and through. We will have one pit stop. We may get a caution or two in this race. Last year did have, I believe, one yellow flag that happened during the race, and we saw one caution in each of the duels as well. So a bit of a different weather conditions here, running it earlier in the day than the duels. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects things. It is 91 degrees out, very hot here in Daytona. So it's going to be a very slick racetrack. We might see some drivers go for moves that maybe they don't have the grip for, and that could cause an accident. But we will see how things go with these Amateur Series cars. Last year, it ended in a photo finish. Maybe we'll get another one this year.
Drivers, start your engines.
And the field will roll off the back straightaway here at Daytona. Gotta make sure that everybody gets off clean. That was from a previous attempt, so we are good to go as the engines fire and the cars begin to roll. 30 drivers looking to win and get a very prestigious trophy added to their trophy case. The previous 3 winners here at Daytona, Corbin Taps, Rhea Wickham, and Nathan Buchanan, 2 of them Amateur Series champions and now current Cup drivers, winning races up there. A win at this track could be huge for any one of these 30 drivers. Of course, you always want to win here at the World Center of Racing. There's a lot on the line for some of these drivers. Others trying to add to their legacy, some of them trying to drive for their career, some looking for cup rides. And it's going to be exciting to see which one of them comes out on top. Pace car pulls into the pit lane. Jami McJasmina and Ben Tachenko will lead them to the green, and we are underway for the Amateur Series at Daytona. Coming off of turn number 4, McJasmina held on to the lead, but Bridget Brousseau made a bold move going into turn number 1 and is picking up where she left off in the duel. She's going to move her way up to second, Kaylee Maxwell third, Kasumi Takashi running that inside lane to try and ride the train up towards the front. They're going to go 3 wide for the lead. McJasmina let the bottom 2 lanes go by on in the inside. And Kaylee Maxwell, the points leader, will get pushed into the race lead. Bridget Brousseau in the middle. Not a lot of help on the top. Now the help is up there. Brousseau's going to try and get that run up on the top side. Maxwell going to try and side draft, but here comes Takashi, who's going to make it 3 wide. And this is that cycle that you always see here in NR at Daytona, at least within the first part of the race. Get yourself on the bottom and get yourself up towards the front. And Kasumi Takashi, who just got her first career win at Winchester, is now leading the field here at Daytona. They're 3 by 3 behind all throughout the pack, very similar to what we saw in the duels last night. Stephen Jones now trying to get the push from Oscar Duval on the inside lane, as they continue to cycle up at the front here. Takashi trying to get the push down the backstretch on the outside. You can get some good momentum down the back on that top lane, and there you see Takashi able to clear the field there and hold on to the race lead as Duval will cycle up to second. Oscar Duval has run the Lumen 500 before, and of course he was in this race last year as well, so he's got plenty of experience here at Daytona. Would be something to get his first career win at the World Center of Racing as well. But Cassidy Jones, who did not make the Lumen 500, she's pretty good on these bigger tracks, but hasn't had a lot of experience in them in this series. But she's moving up to P3 here in that 97. I mean, she's probably got a chip on her shoulder after failing to make the Lumen 500, trying to prove herself here in this race. And Oscar Duval is going to duck low underneath Kasumi Takashi. Both of the Hondas are up here in the top 5. That's a rare sight to see, as this team has usually struggled. Oh, are they pushing 4 wide in the back of the field? I don't like the looks of that, Bart Seiler. They're going to file it down to 3 wide there. Fitzmaurice has not gained many spots since the start of the race. Kind of expect her to be towards the front of these sorts of races, but maybe she's biding her time back there so as to not get involved with any of this mess in the middle of the pack. And here comes Henry Wall with the push from Kaylee Maxwell, who managed to get herself to the inside lane pretty effectively. And it's the 2 HRC Vision Motorsports cars leading the field here at Daytona. Again, that is an incredible sight to see, considering how much this team has struggled, but it seems like they finally found something. First with Takashi's win at Winchester, and now you've got 2 pretty fast Hondas here up at the front at Daytona, but still plenty of race left to go. 30 laps of it to be exact. And here comes Kaylee Maxwell back to the inside with Jean-Martin Boucher behind. Lance Holman, Takamoto Aya, both the BO Racing cars on the inside. This team has not won a race before because they're brand new, but they've been pretty impressive in their starts so far. It would be something for them to get their first win as a team here in the Lumen 500. Neither driver has ever won a race before either. Actually, no, I take that back. Jean-Martin Boucher has won a amateur series race. I believe it was at Texas a couple years ago when he was driving for Red Racing, but that would still be a huge win for Boucher if he's able to pull it off. And we saw a couple cars kind of trailing, like Mercedes Washington and Amani Hondayo a few laps ago, but they have all caught back up to the back of this pack. So all 30 cars still within the draft. In fact, they're all within a second of each other. That's just how tightly packed things are here at Daytona. Lance Holman has cycled himself up to second. Aya trying to get the push from LaTanya Gray, who will be starting inside the top 10 tomorrow in the Lumen 500, driving her own car. So it'll be interesting to see what Gray can do in the main event. She was pretty impressive in her duel. She got a top 10 in the Lumen 500 last year, trying to look to back up that run, but she's got the amateur series to focus on right now. And the car that she's chasing in points is leading the pack right now, so you know she's going to want to gain a few more spots here. Lucas Forster attempted to make the Lumen 500, was unable to do so, but he's got a good chance to win this one. He had a shot last year as well. He was very close to winning that race, if memory serves me correct, but ended up falling just short. And Golden Empire Motorsports have been very impressive since they joined the series last year, winning the Owners' Championship on debut. They're leading the Owners' standings right now. And here comes Takamoto Aya in the number 40, known as a road course ringer, but she has shown in her 4 starts so far in the amateur series that she can wheel it at a bunch of different types of tracks. And now she's shown she can do it on the super speedways, as she is side by side with Kaylee Maxwell, looking to take the lead for BO Racing. The push from behind by Gray and Forrester. Gonna try and get that 40 car into the lead, but they're still side by side as Maxwell seems to have a very strong car. She's been able to hold the lead for quite a bit, or at least stay up near the front, but she's gonna get put to the outside of 3 wide. And I think that's gonna do it for Maxwell for now. And Takamoto Aya will take the lead of the race. Lucas Forrester in second. Alan Marshall started in dead last in this race, and he's already found himself in the top 5 after lap 10. Again, kind of an effect of that early race cycle. And Forrester's running a bit high on the track there. Made me a little bit nervous that he'd get into the 66, but they keep it together. And here comes Fitzmaurice on the inside. The super speedway master herself has yet to win on a super speedway, but she has plenty of second and third place finishes. Could this be the day for Isabella Fitzmaurice to finally get that coveted first career win in LSCI? She's come very close, specifically on these types of tracks. And I think at this point we know she's capable of it. Still a lot of race left to go as Aya continues to lead. Alan Marshall tries to get by the 40 car, but Aya's not going to let him by. Puts the block on him in turn number 1. Fitzmaurice tries to clear for third and will. Steve Brack, Big Yale inside the top 5 for Seven Hills Autosport. Spencer Rallison, Amani Huandayo. We got a line of Chevys on the inside trying to make something happen. Richard Mackley behind them. And Huandayo was the one who lost the photo finish to Nathan Buchanan at the end of last year. 13 one-thousandths of a second, which at the time was the closest finish in an LSCI sanctioned event. Oh, so close to that, still has not gotten a win in her career. And taking a peek to the inside, Isabella Fitzmaurice with Steve Brack behind is going to break up the top 2, and Fitzmaurice will move into the lead. A familiar sight here at Daytona as Isabella Fitzmaurice has once again put herself at the front in a super speedway, but Steve Brack's going to try and make it 3 wide. He is going to end up 3 wide, but only for third as there was no help from behind. But he's got his teammate Duncan Ward trying to get to the back of him. He's got a huge run on the bottom. And now there's a line of Fords down there trying to hook up. That's 4 of them in a row as you've got the 2 Seven Hills cars there, then Walter Bowser in the 43, Sky and Jetta in the 2. It looks like and Jetta is actually going to move to the middle lane now. And that'll move Vebelst up the order on the inside, as well as Rhea Wickham. They're still side by side for the lead. Last time by across the line, Fitzmaurice led the lap by 2/1000ths of a second. That Ford train is going to put Fitzmaurice in the middle. Here comes Brack, here comes Ward, here comes Bowser. And now Fitzmaurice stuck in the middle lane as they all try to close in on Takamoto Aya, who is back clear for the race lead in that 40 car. Brack moved high, and Duncan Ward is not going to go help him. Duncan Ward, one of the most aggressive drivers in the field, also failed to make the Lumen 500. Despite his good attempts and getting his car in the top 10 for quite a bit, couldn't quite finish it off. But now he gets shuffled to the middle lane, and now Walter Bowser is in a good spot. But he now moves up, and now Mauricia Vebelst, they're thinking about going 4 wide here. Rhea Wickham's going to look to the inside. I think they are going to be 4 wide in turn 3, right in front of the pack. This cannot end well as Wickham tries to force the issue. Vebelst, Bowser, and Ward are also in this 4 wide. They're making it work for now, but they're going to have to get out of it because 4 wide at Daytona is almost certain disaster. Oh, Annie Baker now on the inside of the 4 wide, but they're going to file it down to 3. They managed to make it work. Wickham was able to get the lead briefly, but it's going to be Annie Baker who's going to get the benefit of that. Oh, man. That was a tense moment right there. 4 wide for second place could have easily ended in a massive accident, but that thankfully did not happen. And the pole sitter, Jami McJasmina, now finds her way back up at the front on lap 15. Latanya Gray, Cassidy Jones behind her, and this race has been mostly a cycle race for the entire length. We only saw, I think, Maxwell and Aya were the two that managed to hold on to the lead for more than a couple laps. But they eventually got shuffled as well. But PJ is back out front now, Jami McJasmina. As we approach the halfway point of the race, we expect these cars to pit in about 8 or 9 laps. Gonna try and pit around lap 25, so it will, if we do get to those pit stops under green, that could make things hectic. As this entire group of 3, or this entire pack that's 3 wide, that's going 190 miles an hour, is gonna have to slow it down to, I believe, 70 is the pit lane speed at this track. And that could be very disorganized if they're not paying attention. Got a couple of Osco drivers out in front here. It is Jami McJasmine and Mauricia Vebelst. And a couple of Osco Continental drivers behind them, so the Osco system is definitely showing up here in this middle part of the race. Here comes Mauricia Vebelst. She's already got a win this year at Auto Club, which is another big oval. Of course, races very differently to this one, but I'm sure some of the skills translate over, and they're side by side for the race lead. Vebelst is going to get the push from Annie Baker on the inside, and that'll put the 21 into the lead. She is fighting to get into that top 4 in points. I believe right now she's got a wild card spot, but you know Mauricia Vebelst, she's not going to want to rely on the wild card, especially since, you know, she had a pretty bad season last year. Off to a good start this year. But Baker is now to the inside of her with Maria Gonzalez in the 00. Ben Tachenko, Bridget Brousseau also on the inside lane, moving their way up through the field, and Tachenko's going to make a move with Brousseau underneath the 00 car to take him 3 wide into turn 3. The 4 and the 21 are still side by side for the lead up ahead, and then you got the 2 Riverbend cars leading the high lane, trying to get something going up there. Side by side at the line, Annie Baker leads that lap as we are now past the halfway point of the race. Got about 17 laps to go in this one. We'll be closing in on pit stops very soon. This would be about the end of the race if this were the dual races, but got a bit longer to go still. And the 21 and the 4 are still in a deadlock in first and second. Neither one of them wants to give up the lead. Pebbles has done a great job holding her own on that outside lane. But Baker's hoping to get a bit of a boost from her Ford teammates down there. Tachenko and Brosseau. Now Brosseau's going to take it 3 wide for third. Exciting racing up here at the front. We've had several different leaders. But Baker and Vebbels look very strong here in the middle part of the race. Neither one of them wanting to give up the lead. Vebbels has been able to hold it despite the lack of help on the outside, but she's got a bunch of help on the outside now, thanks to Bridget Brosseau moving up there. Because Vebbels is going to be able to clear in turn 3, though she will not, and the 4 will have the advantage through the corner. 3 cars up top versus 2 on the bottom, and Stephen Jones is a bit further back from the 4, so there's going to be more momentum for Vebbels on the top side. He's going to have to try and take advantage of that to clear the 4-car of Baker, who's just not getting the push that she needs on the inside. But Vebbels still can't quite clear her. They are still side by side. We'll see what happens down the backstretch. Stephen Jones got shuffled to the middle. Latanya Gray, Amani Huandayo leading the charge on the inside. And Brosseau's going to give Vebbels a mega push down the backstretch, and that will put Vebbels out in front. And she is clear this time. Now the battle is for second behind Vebbels. Baker and Brosseau side by side. At the end of lap number 21. And they continue to go 3 wide throughout the entire pack. That's Gonzalez up on the outside lane. Stephen Jones in the middle. Latanya Gray down low. Bridget Brosseau has a gap to get down to the inside. Will she take it? It looks like she's going to try to. And Baker going to look to the inside of Gonzalez, but the 72 is not going to go with the 4. Gonzalez will go low. That's Vebbels that Baker's trying to pass here. And Baker's got quite a bit of momentum there from Gonzalez. Rhea Wickham also moves down to the bottom to try and help. Wickham was stuck up on that top lane for quite a bit, but she managed to find her way back down. And now we're going to go 3 wide for the lead as Gonzalez and Wickham have a huge run on the inside lane. Rhea Wickham's trying to win this race for the second time. And Riverbend Racing had a winless season last year. I believe Wickham is their most recent winner. So this would be quite a win for Riverbend Racing to go back to victory lane here at Daytona. But again, still quite a few laps left. Maria Gonzalez, the rookie, gets pushed out in front. A Toyota has never won this race. In fact, it's been a Chevrolet all 3 times. But she's going to get kicked up to the outside, and here come the Chevrolets, a line of 3 of them. Rhea Wickham trying to get her first win in 2 years. Latanya Gray trying to get her second win of the season and her first at Daytona. Amani Huandayo trying to get vengeance for the close call last year. Everybody up here with something to battle for. And Latanya Gray is going to try and move into P2. It looks like she might be able to break it away from that 3 wide, and she will. She breaks free. She'll move up to P2. Baker and Brosseau have been good at pushing on that outside lane. And Gray will stay clear down the backstretch as Wickham continues to lead in the 71. It'll be 11 laps to go. Next time by, Rhea Wickham trying to win this race for the second time. But still has the entire pack right behind her. We ran 24 laps caution-free, which, I mean, neither of the duels were caution-free, so the amateur drivers are actually racing cleaner than the Cup drivers right now. We did have that 4-wide situation there for a moment that could have resulted in an accident, but it did not. Maria Gonzalez is back up here, and she is not wasting any time. She wants to take that run there on the 14 of Latanya Gray to go for second. She's got Duncan Ward right behind her. But most of the cars are up top. Gonzalez was able to get underneath Latanya Gray, though, for the second position. And we're going to see them start to pit here very soon, within the next couple laps. So that's going to be a hairy situation. Duncan Ward's going to take him 3 wide. He has also recently gotten his first career win back at Martinsville a few weeks ago, trying to go 2 for 3 in the last 3 weeks. But Bridget Brousseau has the run on the inside now. She doesn't even have any help, but she is willing that car up to the front. Starbound Autosport has never won in the amateur series. They've gotten close quite a few times, especially at Aguas Calientes earlier this season, where they had a 1-2 going before choking it away at the end. But will they be able to pull it off this time? Again, we've still got pit lane to worry about, and it looks increasingly likely that we're going to see a green flag pit cycle here at Daytona, if they can do it cleanly. But Wickham is controlling the lanes very well up here. Top 6 trying to break away just a little bit, but they're going 2 and 3 wide, so not really anywhere for them to go. Now got Mauricia Vebels right behind LaTanya Gray here, lined up on the inside. You know these two are the best of friends, so I don't think Mauricia Vebels is going to be looking to pass her. In fact, it looks like they might try and force a 4-wide situation, but Gonzalez was able to find a hole up on the top side. Bridget Brousseau has a run on the 4 car of Annie Baker, and it looks like maybe we'll start to see some pitting right here. Yep, here comes a few cars into the pit lane. They're stacking up in the back of the pack, but not too badly. Not that many cars pitting here. Rhea Wickham, Juan Dayo, Henry Wall, Steve Bracken, Walter Bowser. That's it, only 5 cars. And that has broken up the pack a little bit because some of them needed to slow down. This back half of the field here that's got both the BO racing cars, the 96, the 44, 2 of the Appalachia cars. Quite a few drivers stuck back there. That might take them out of it, but we will see who will decide to pit here this second time. Annie Baker has the lead, but Mauricia Vebels trying to pass on the inside. We've seen these two side by side for quite a bit, and here comes another group of them right here. Look at the run that the 77 and the 95 have on some of those cars that had to slow down. LaTanya Gray will lead this second group into the pit lane. Again, a larger group than last time, including most of the cars from pack number 2, which is a very smart move if you want to pit with everybody here. Hondayo is the first one out of the pits, out of everybody that pitted in that second one. Rhea Wickham's team really messed up that pit stop, so that is unfortunate for her. But we've still got a few cars out there. Annie Baker, Bridget Brousseau, and they're looking to take less fuel than everybody else. That is their strategy here by staying out. I'm liking these front 6 here that are still in their group, and they're all going to come down together here. Kaylee Maxwell will join them, and then the last 3, it appears, plus the 96 and the 80, will come in this lap. LaTanya Gray is well ahead of this second pack. Spencer Rallison is also in the second pack, but that's not necessarily a good thing. She'll have no friends to draft with. The 10 and the 19 are going to try and run up on her here as they come to 5 laps to go. They've got a full head of steam. LaTanya Gray is still trying to get up to speed. Here comes Wandayo and Wall closing in on this number 14 car. What is Gray going to be able to do? She goes low to try and block Henry Wall. She goes high to block the 10. Is she going to be able to keep the lead? Doesn't look like it, as Wall's got a run on the inside. But Gray has the help on the outside, and she actually will manage to keep the lead, at least out of that group. But the 4 car of Annie Baker has gotten out ahead of everybody. They're going to have to navigate through this line of 4 cars as well, led by Bridget Brousseau. They're going to have a run on Annie Baker. Annie Baker is way too far out. She has to be pitting with them, but she pitted so fast that she has a huge lead, and they're going to close up on her now that she doesn't have the draft. Bridget Brousseau is leading this line, but Alan Marshall, Duncan Ward, Mauricia Vebels are up here, and here comes Wandayo and this pack, who have had more time to get up to speed. They're going to catch up. What are they going to do here? Are they going to try and take it 3 wide? Marshall is going to reject that notion, but here comes Brousseau on the outside. She's got all the momentum. Baker's still getting up to speed. I think Baker actually has some damage. She might have ran into somebody in the pits, so that's going to make her car even slower. She is holding up everybody right here. They're thinking about going 4 wide. Brosseau is way out in front now, but she does not want that big lead because then they're going to run up on her and the tables have turned on the 72 car. It looks like this is going to be your pack fighting for the win. It is a pack of 9 that are all going to have a shot at it. Mauricia Webelst is drafting up to the back of the 72 of Brosseau. 4 laps to go. Here she comes to the inside. And help from her teammate, Amani Huandayo, is coming. Red Racing are in an excellent spot to win this race. Webelst will pass for the lead. But here comes the 10 and the 19, and the rest of the pack has a full head of steam on the top 2. They're going to get to Brosseau first. Huandayo will go down low. Wall's going to try and push the 72, thinks better of it, moves back down to the inside. LaTanya Gray in tow. And here they come with a run on Webelst. Coming to 3 laps to go. Will Huandayo try and push her teammate? It looks like she's going to stay tucked behind for now. Is the caution out? The caution is out! Oh, Bart Seiler has crashed in turn 3! And I think that's going to do it. I believe... I don't know if we're going to have enough time to get restarted. We're going to try... And if we are, we're going to have to pace minus right now. But a caution has come out right at the end of the race involving Bart Seiler. Lucas Forrester may have also been involved. Stephen Jones as well. And Kasumi Takashi. But we go green for most of the race, and it looks like the wreck started at the entry of 3. And if this race does not get restarted, Mauricia Webelst and Amani Huandayo are going to cap off a Red Racing 1-2 at Daytona. Webelst would get her 2nd win of the season, and Huandayo, for the 2nd year in a row, would have to settle for a runner-up. But we will see if the pace lights go out. Last year in the Lumen 500, we were able to get in a 1-lap shootout. We'll see if the same happens here. It looked like a multi-car pileup in turn number 3. Bart Seiler in the 95 definitely got the worst of that. You see the front end damage on that 95 car. But we will see across the line. Will they get back going? Is there enough time? Lights are out on the pace car. We will, in fact, have a 1-lap shootout here in the Amateur Series at Daytona, much like the Lumen 500 last year. We're going to show you the replay of what happened, and then we will get you to the finish of the Amateur Series race here at Daytona. Will Webelst and Huandayo be able to hold on to the Red Racing 1-2, or will someone else from the pack get the win at Daytona? Well, here we go. Down the back straightaway, Stephen Jones crowds the 96 of Dawson Lynn up into the outside wall, and nowhere for Bart Seiler to go as he is right behind this. And you saw in that little video inset a few laps before, Stephen Jones got damage in a collision in the pit lane that also got Lucas Forrester and Kasumi Takashi. I thought the 15 and 20 had crashed on the track, but it was actually a stack up on the exit of the pit lane. But that had nothing to do with this. That was just Stephen Jones kind of not giving the 96 enough room, and they make contact, and Bart Seiler just happened to be behind it, and he got caught up in it. So that's a bit of an unfortunate accident there. I think a preventable accident, definitely, but we're gonna have a 1-lap shootout here at Daytona. This is gonna be a crazy one for sure. Here it is again, right here. I thought maybe Sky and Jetta had forced it 3 wide, but as you can see from the helicopter cam, she was behind them when that happened, so she had nothing to do with it. Jones just did not give Lynn the room he needed, and like I mentioned, Bart Seiler, nowhere to go. He just gets caught up in this, so again, unfortunate for all of them involved, but once again, we'll have a 1-lap shootout here at Daytona. Will Mauricia Webelst hang on to win? Will Huandayo be able to get by her, or will it be somebody else in the field here at Daytona? Welcome back here at the Daytona International Speedway, wrapping up the first and likely only caution of the race. It will be a 1-lap shootout to end it Seems like we always get into this situation here at Daytona. It happened in a duel last year. It happened in the Lumen 500 last year. Now it's going to happen here in the Amateur Series. Mauricia Vebelst is leading the field in the 21 car, trying to get her second win this week, as she also won the Osco race in dominating fashion. But Amani Huandayo is not going to settle for second again. She finished second in this race last year. She wants that first career win. So I don't think she's going to end up helping the teammate. Green flag is out. We are racing for one more lap here at Daytona. Not the greatest of restarts there from the 10 of Huandayo, but she might be setting up for a run down the back straightaway. Bridget Brousseau making a move to the inside. Henry Wall's going to go for the second position in the number 19 car. That's good news for Vebels. They're still getting up to speed for half of this lap. And the best shot for a lead change will be in 3 and 4, but they are going side by side behind Mauricia Vebelst. And this is looking like a great situation for the 21, but she can't get out too far ahead. 3 wide now with Bridget Brousseau down on the inside. Some momentum on the inside lane, but I don't think they're going to get there in time. Mauricia Vebelst in the number 21 is going to get the biggest win possibly of her career. Vebelst is gonna win at Daytona. She held them off on the final lap, and Mauricia Vebelst gets her second win of the season. And what a statement that was from Vebelst. What a week she has had. I don't think you could ask for anything better than that. Red Racing does not get the 1-2 though, as Huandayo did fall to 5th. Bridget Brousseau finishes second, 1 spot short of Starbound Autosport's first win. They're going to have to search a bit longer. Duncan Ward will finish in 3rd. Henry Wall 4th. That's a great run for Henry Wall. He desperately needed a finish like that. He's had a terrible season. Same for Huandayo in 5th. I'm sure 5th is fine, but Huandayo definitely wanted that win. Alan Marshall has been on a skid as of late, so 6th place is great for him. Isabella Fitzmaurice, Latanya Gray, Steve Breck, and Rhea Whitcomb will round out the top 10. But wow, what about that? Mauricia Vebelst is absolutely making up for the season she had last year. 2 wins already on the year, and she is starting to become a championship favorite here in the LSCI Amateur Series. Bridget Brousseau in 2nd, a great run in her own right. That's great practice for the Lumen 500 for her, because she gets to run in that race. So we'll see if that ends up translating to the big race tomorrow. Duncan Ward with a top 3 finish as well. So a great statement run for him in that 26 car. I believe he's already top 4 in points, so he's going to gain on Kaylee Maxwell. Maxwell actually finished in 12th, so it's likely she's still going to have the points lead. But Duncan Ward, Mauricia Vebelst, and Latanya Gray are all going to eat into that lead at least a little bit. Gray still finishes in 8th, but, she's probably going to be a bit jealous considering Vebelst managed to get the win there. Fitzmaurice finishes in the top 10. That's pretty typical of her for a super speedway, but maybe was hoping for a little bit better. Rhea Whitcomb had a shot at the win there. Her pit crew fumbled the last pit stop, still got a top 10, but again, Riverbend Racing's been on a long winless drought, so the winless drought will continue. Steve Brack manages a top 10. That's his first one since the second race of the season at Rockingham, so a driver who's been struggling this season as well, getting a good run. And there's a lot of those in the top 10 here. You definitely like to see that. And then we'll see the rest of your finishers here. Lucas Forrester was well off the pace there. You would have thought he was in the 64 car, but he was evidently collected in that accident that brought out the caution. Bart Seiler, Kasumi Takashi, and Stephen Jones all were as well. As you can notice, they were off the pace. But everybody finished the race on the lead lap after that. But what a race that was. There was plenty of drama throughout the entire thing. And Mauricia Vebelst gets win number 2 and gets it at the biggest stage at Daytona. So big congratulations to her and Red Racing, again, having a great turnaround season after a dismal season last year. If Vebbelst was knocking on the door of a cup ride a couple years ago, but things just did not work out. But she is proving here that she belongs in the Cup Series, so we'll see. She's going to make a run at one of those Cup rides, so we'll see what she ends up doing. But big congratulations to her. That's got to feel great for Mauricia Vebbelst. But that's going to wrap up the race here today. But of course, this is not the last one of the week because we still got the Lumen 500 tomorrow, the big one, the big fish of the school, and gonna have a lot of hungry drivers looking to win that one, including three of the ones that ran in this race. And two of them managed to finish inside. Actually, all three of them managed to finish inside the top eight. So again, good practice for them, and they all showed that they're very competent at this kind of racing. So not that we didn't know that already, but regardless, they all showed up here in the amateur series race. We'll see if they show up in the cup race as well. But thank you guys for watching this one here at Daytona. And this is Brendan Wilmington signing out.